All right, welcome back, True Seeker. This video is titled Taking Out the Trash, and I'm calling out four of many people that I could call out. I might even end up calling out more people. But this might be what needs to happen to get this channel to grow again because YouTube has killed me in the algorithm. They don't even let subs stay subscribed, they don't even let subs get notifications. My analytics always show that the new people here is a dead flat line at the bottom. The way to grow the audience might be to go after the audiences of people who are following charlatans and frauds and liars and scammers. And at the top of that list is Gary the Numbers Guy. I just watched Gary the Numbers Guy rack up about $2,000 in 30 minutes, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. I thought, who is giving any money to this man? Do you guys know he's fresh off another failed Super Bowl pick, another failed presidential pick? Has this guy ever called anything correctly in his life other than when he copied my pick for LeBron to come back and win on the real King James's birthday? I don't think Gary knew that, even though he lived in Cleveland until he watched my video. Again, it makes me sick to see a fraud like Gary, where the algorithm has never deleted him or destroyed him, who's gotten away with scamming people for a long time, that he's been able to somehow command all this success. Back in 2016, when my channel was rightfully growing and getting big views because we were nailing every single prediction, including Prince's death practically to the day, Gary had about 500 subs, and rightfully so, because there wasn't anything worth watching on his channel. Gary, you can just debunk Gary in a second. Gary says if you're born in 83, you're going to have a very awful year in 2025 because it's the enemy year. 12 years ago would have been the enemy year as well, 2013. That was the best year of my life, financially, relationship-wise, knowledge-wise. 2013, if I could circle one year in my life that was the best year, it was easily 2013, you know? Sweet Lady and I's relationship became very well established. Living together that year, I discovered this knowledge. The business I built took off that year. You're listening to Gary, you might be all anxious. Oh my God, I'm born in 83. I'm going to do horrible in 2025. Gary doesn't know what he's talking about. Again, look at Gary. Gary goes on Fresh and Fit and makes himself look like a dumbass. Anywhere Gary goes, comments are left like this if you read comment sections. This is Gary on Fresh and Fit, looking like an asshole. Jimmy Marison was in the chat. He said, do this with Zachary K. Hubbard. Gematria is greater than numerology by a long shot. Zach represents Gematria at least 500 times better than Gary does with numerology. That's absolutely true. Gary's going around coping for 2020 about being wrong about the presidency. He guaranteed Trump would win the election in 2020. Who did we say was going to win the election in 2020? Pretty much the only person on the internet who explained why Joe Biden would become number 46 in the election exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, when Catholic equals 46, and the only other Catholic president was shot at age 46, and John F. Kennedy equals 59, and that was the 59th election, and Biden has the same birthday as RFK, and he sacrificed his son Beau Biden at 46 for the rigged selection. And see, that's the other big difference between me and Gary. My track record is nearly impeccable. Gary's been 0 for, I think, 12 in the last Super Bowls. As far as I know, the only thing Gary's ever called right again is when he copied my LeBron pick. Gary called it after the Cavs won game 5. He's like, yeah, they're coming back to win. We'd already put it out when it was just 4 games. And I guaranteed at the beginning of the year that LeBron was going to win that finals in game 7 on the real King James's birthday. Again, I don't know any other prediction that Gary ever got right. And here's what Gary does. He gets away with having people sign NDAs so they can't disclose how bad his information is. And people who are of the mindset that if you pay a lot for something, you get what you're paying for. I mean, there is some truth to that. You get what you pay for. Gary's manipulating that concept by charging a lot for his information, which is shit. It's like you think you're getting a Ferrari, but you're getting a used 1990 Civic where all the paint's rusted off. And, you know, the engine has sawdust in it. That's what Gary the Numbers Goon is. Just a total fraud. And again, I want to explain what happened in 2016. If anybody wants to go through the archives on TFR and go back to the first few months of my TFR show, Gary would call in every week and make an ass out of himself. He'd challenge me on something. He'd be wrong. I'd be right. including the World Series and postseason. Again, in 2016, Gary had to take a mulligan about 4 or 5 times on his baseball World Series pick because his team kept getting eliminated. And then when it was just down to his hometown Cleveland versus the Cubs, he picked Cleveland to win it all. You know who had the Cubs in spring training as a lock to win the World Series? Yours truly. Gary had to take about 5 different teams and still couldn't get it right. And then after being a poor loser, he launched a website called Gematria Fraud. Again, Gary's a goon, a loser, and not good at what he does. And it was crazy watching today. I was like, is this real? I mean, has he really made $2,000? He had a thing that you had to donate at least 98 to get a numerology reading. People would ask the question, hey, Gary, I want to move to Boise. Is that a good idea this year? And he'd go down like this with a pen. He'd go, no, you should move to California. And then the next person would send another question. I'm like, is this real? Is this real right now? Is that like, who the hell is it? If you're sending any money to Gary for any, like what? The master of failed predictions? God, this can't be real, you guys. I don't know how this guy got propped up. I don't know how he's on all these podcasts. I don't know how he's become the numerology guru. I don't know how he's standing behind Donald Trump, another fraud and phony. By the way, Gary had either Michelle Obama or Ron DeSantis to win the 2024 election. We told you 4 years ago why Donald Trump would be back as the new Grover Cleveland. Again, learn gematria. Split term equals 132. 132 years since Grover Cleveland did the split term thing when Trump's convention was in Cleveland in 2016, plus a million other things, including Cleveland equaling 78 in gematria, like how old Trump is right now. His first day in office, he signs away 78 Biden-era executive actions when Biden also took the White House at age 78, which is a very special number to the Jesuits and the Masons who run D.C. See, that's everything Gary tries to do. Gary tries to make it seem like it's all the universe doing this. It's all organic. There's no manipulation. The elections aren't rigged. Total bullshit. Everything he's doing is wrong, disingenuous, incorrect. It makes me sick, really. And then Gary the goon, where did he go? I called him out on Twitter, and here's how he responds back. Gary, the numbers guy, says, you are beneath me. In what world am I beneath you, Gary? Literally, you have nothing on me. Nothing. It doesn't matter that you've been propped up by the algorithm and other frauds are supporting you, and you probably got bots sending you $100 chats from whatever criminal organization you're a part of. Hey, Gary, should I move to Boise? I mean, give me... no, you should move to California. Oh, okay. I'm sure that's what they were looking for. He doesn't even explain why they should move to California. I'm sure somebody who's looking to move to Boise wants to move to California. Talk about radically different places. But yeah, Gary, let's have a debate and let's see who looks like the asshole. Because I know it's not going to be me. We've already gone through this multiple times. You learned to run away in 2016 and you haven't been back. But man, seeing that you're out here with these big numbers undeservedly and fleecing the hell out of people, I feel like I'm doing a public service, I suppose, to keep anybody, out of your grasp. Again, if you end up signed up with Gary, the numbers goon, you have surely done yourself a disservice. You need to get your IQ checked. Again, Gary is fresh off another Super Bowl flop. His big guarantee this year was the Ravens, who never had a shot. We've been on Chiefs all year, Lock City. And again, Gary will have his goons running around saying that he had the Chiefs. That's what he does. He has like a pack of people who lie for him every year. I'm pretty sure all of my trolls work for the same organization that Gary's a part of. I've thought that since forever. Now, other guy up here, Jeranism, he went and appealed to YouTube today. If I end up getting suspended for a week, it'll be because of Jeranism. I got this email here. If I don't take down the video and YouTube decides I'm in the wrong, I'll get suspended for a week or worse. It could be worse. But I don't think I'm in the wrong, and I'm not going to take down the video. Again, Jeranism is another piece of shit. And again, Jeranism's going through a tough time right now because he's been doing the flat earth grift for the last decade. And he's one of the flat earthers that got sent down to Antarctica to witness the 24-hour sun, which debunks what he's been saying for the last decade. And now his flat earth religion that he helped cultivate, they don't care because they don't care about evidence. It's all about the belief system. Evidence means nothing to believers. But Jeranism, who again is another guy who's worked to slander my name. I think Jeranism was also even one of the 1,000 people who did a video when a car crashed through my house Christmas Eve 2016 saying it was a hoax. He might not have participated in that. He might. I can't remember. But Jeranism's done plenty of things. I recently went on Jeranism's show to see if he would apologize for something he did a decade ago that was disingenuous. And all that came out of his mouth was more disingenuous remarks. He says that we can't call anything in sports. We've nailed like every sports future correctly for the last year. Just nothing but a skeezy, slimy fraud as well. And again, a guy who's grifted a lot of money off the flat earth psyop, something that's done nothing for anybody other than make people look stupid, make people more ignorant, make people think they know something when really they're doing an injustice to themselves by coming to completely false conclusions. And it's sad that so many people get so hurt about, that's not true. It's totally provable it's flat. No, there's literally zero proofs that the earth is flat. Literally zero proof or evidence. It's not even worth arguing, guys, about because you don't care. You just say whatever the hell you're going to say because it's a belief system. It's a religion. But yeah, Jeranism is butthurt because we looked into the death of his mother almost a year to the day of his film coming out, Behind the Curve, that went on Netflix, his mother's unexpected death. Again, on the birthday of the current mayor of San Jose, who was in high school with Jaron at the same time, who's the current mayor of the city, who became the 66th mayor shortly after when his mom died unexpectedly at 66. And again, what am I always showing you about this Jesuit cabal network, how they appoint people to positions in their ongoing agenda, appoint a Jeranism to YouTube, make him viral as he spreads a divisive psyop, put his classmate in for the mayor. Again, Jeranism. If I'm wrong about what I showed in that video about the mother's death, your mother's death 170 days after your birthday when sacrifice equals 170 in gematria, and this happens a lot in show business, which you're a part of, defend your point. Don't ask YouTube to take down the video. I thought you flat earthers were so anti-authoritarian. Why do you run to the authorities to solve your problem? You know, in all the years I've had 1,000 slander videos made about me, none of them are true, and I've never asked YouTube to take any of them down. I just defend my points. If I'm wrong about what happened to your mom, why not make a response video? Why go to YouTube and ask for the video to be taken down? Again, I know Jeranism's a goon too, because a decade ago, him and his wife wanted to interview me, and they specifically said, please don't do any research. It's not going to be anything other than a casual conversation about why you won't get on board with the flat earth thing. And then again, I wish I would have just hung up the phone 5 minutes into it, because all it was pop quiz, pop quiz, pop quiz. Jaron asked a question, wife asked a question. And then it was just a gotcha thing. Once I answered something wrong, then he puts that out on the internet. He doesn't know this. It's like, okay, where's the other 2 hours of the interview? No, that's the kind of person this is. Zach, please don't do any research. Just want to have a casual conversation. Again, my fault was, again, like I said, not hanging up after 5 minutes. But think about the type of person who does that. That's called a douchebag. That's called a fraud. That's called a liar. Again, shout out to Evan, the sports critic. He just played the clip of what Jaron said in 2016 about how I pulled him out of sports because he was a diehard San Francisco Giants fan. But my work proved to him that sports were rigged. And then shortly after that, he started attacking my work on sports and saying it was the dumbest thing ever, something he's continued to say. So he admitted something that seemingly was true about my work, but then it was like somebody told him that that wasn't okay, so he had to reverse his opinion and attack, something he still does to this day. And when I just recently tried to go on there and ask him if he was willing to apologize, he was apologizing for being a part of the Flat Earth Psyop. I said, well, are you willing to apologize to what you did to me years ago? And he's like, oh, you're still upset about that? And then when I got off, he's like, sports works wrong all the time. It's wrong way more than it's right. Another lying statement, not even close. Unprecedented track record with calling futures. What Gary, the numbers guy, lies about for his accomplishments, those are actually my accomplishments. Okay. Yeah, this other guy up here, JimBob. So JimBob, you know, he routinely likes to take shots at me. If you guys don't know who JimBob is, small channel, looks like a homeless guy. Literally looks like if you were trying to like envision in your mind and you said, imagine somebody that might look like a serial killer, you might envision a guy that looks like JimBob. But JimBob is routinely talking shit about my work. And recently, when Gary, the numbers guy, went on Fresh and Fit, JimBob had to attack me over it. And JimBob said, I don't even know who this Gary, the numbers guy is. Never heard of him. I don't know why he's on there. But he said, it makes me think of Zachary K. Hubbard with all of his number gematria bullshit. Again, if you guys don't know who JimBob is, he claims to be a Christian. He's a Christian who sits online and judges people all day and makes fun of everything. And it's just like, okay, like what about you is Christian? I mean, I came up in the church too. You're supposed to be non-judgmental. You're supposed to be in pursuit of truth. You're supposed to be speaking against evil. You don't really do any of those things. You're very judgmental. I don't really know what truth topics you're really into. You're really into your religion. You act like religion's one of these things that can be proven, which it can. It's faith. Who's the guy going around right now making the rounds everywhere because he supposedly embarrassed Billy Carson, which was obviously another fraud. Wes Huff maybe. He's everywhere right now. He went on Joe Rogan. Wes Huff. Wes Huff is like a nicer version of JimBob. He's trying to make it seem like religion is provable. It's not. It's faith-based. Either you believe or you don't. Trying to turn religion into something like it's science and provable, it's not. Again, the historians from the time of Jesus, there's no documented record he ever existed. But you talk to Christians, they'll find their obscure sources like, oh, he definitely existed. I don't know. I mean, the prominent historians of the time, they don't have anything written about this man. So you could always make an argument, though, that the historical record was wiped. So again, that's why it's faith-based. You got to believe. But yeah, JimBob, always sitting over there and talking shit. And anytime I've ever tried to have a conversation with him on his thing, he brings on a panel of people who sit there and interrupt and interject so you can never get through a point. It's just, just another total goon on the internet. And he kind of reminds me of CT. He has like a small channel with not many people watching, but very well funded. And it's like, how is this possible? How are these people so well funded? Who's throwing $100 at Gary a second? A guy who has a criminal track record of lying and falsifying. And again, just read the comment section of the Fresh and Fit because everyone's calling him out who knows him. They're like, dude, he's lying about what he said. He's like, no, that's not true. He predicted this. No, that's not true. He predicted this. Gary's just lies. And I know that's exactly the case because that's exactly what happened in 2016. He got embarrassed. He made himself look like a pile of shit, and then he called me the fraud. It's like, my one prediction from spring training landed with the World Series. You're 0 for 5 in the World Series and couldn't even get it right when we were down to 2 teams, shows the relevance of your work. The Chinese Zodiac, there is a little bit of something to it, but it's not that important. It's not that meaningful to be telling people that if you're, that's his claim to fame right now. If you're born in 83, you're going to have a really bad year in 2025. Anyone who's falling for that, I mean, there's something to mentalism. If you're listening to Gary and thinking like, oh, he has a bunch of subs. Wow, everybody's having him on. Maybe this is true. You're going to start thinking you're going to have a bad year. Like I told you guys, I'm born in 83. I'm not worried about having a bad year at all. 12 years ago, I had the best year of my life. According to Gary's knowledge, I should have had the worst year of my life 12 years ago in 2013. And 2001 would have been 12 years earlier. A lot of people had a bad year because of 9/11, but I wouldn't say that year was bad for me either. I had a profound awakening, which led me to this knowledge, which 12 years later grew exponentially by discovering Gematria. And again, that's the thing about Gary too. Gary's a Jewish guy. He was born into circles that are aware of this knowledge. Gary attacked me because I was putting out for free into the world, again, in pursuit of truth and justice, putting out information in the world that he didn't like to see it be put out there. Because again, he's making people sign NDAs and charging them thousands of dollars to learn that knowledge. And the thing is, what Gary apparently knew about before I did, and he did do a video on his YouTube channel that had no views. in 2012 about Gematria. And see, this is the funny thing too. In 2016, when he was calling in my show, he was saying Gematria is bullshit. Gematria is bullshit. Gematria is stupid. And then lo and behold, in 2012, he actually had a short video showing a little bit about Gematria and why the word casino was coded to break down to 7, which is actually a number that puts a hex on the gambler. And again, I mean, just how disingenuous of a person are you? But then it was figured out, you know, people said, Zach, the real reason that he's attacking you is because you are exposing what he's trying to, you know, monopolize on and make people pay a lot of money for. And then the other thing is you're just showing him up. So when Gary sits there and says, you're beneath me, dude, fuck off, sorry ass motherfucker. Your track record is dog shit. Like I said, you're fresh off a wrong Super Bowl pick and fresh off 2 failed presidential election picks. We're correct again. You were also wrong in 2020. And I don't think anyone in the world saw Trump in 2016 as quickly as I did the day he debated for the first time, the 2015 debate. Again, Gematria is superior to numerology. Just like this comment says. Go back to the first debate on Fox News. You can still watch it today, the rewind of it in 2015 when they had to narrow down the field of 20 candidates, Ben Carson and all of them. First time Trump takes the mic, Fox News says Trump is the 133rd richest man. President equals 133, White House 133, government 133. That's the same time Gary's trolling me saying Gematria is bullshit. As he throws out more false picks at a high price where you got to sign an NDA so it can't be revealed how awful he was yet again. And then the other goon up here, Owen Benjamin, he used to be friends with JimBob. Again, Owen Benjamin, who over the years has taken at least 5-6 stabs at my work. Recently, he collaborated with Brian of No Impact Flicks. They were going to have a debate, and the first 15 minutes of their debate is making fun of my work. Why are there so many people that want to talk shit about what I'm doing but are unwilling to have a conversation? Is it because they know they're not going to win that conversation? Is it because they're worried about losing their audience? Is it because they're worried about their ego being trampled over because they don't want to get smoked in a debate? Again, I'm not afraid to debate anyone. It's that nobody wants to debate me. Adam Green of No More News, who blames everything on Israel, which is stupid. It's a chicken and egg thing, and you can answer the question. Israel did not come first. Israel is part of the Jesuit agenda. You can prove all day that the Jesuits are running the show, controlling this nation, Israel, and much more. Very provable. The Jesuits, the military order of the Catholic Church. Adam Green, again, went to Israel, asked to interview me when he first got back, puts up my interview and takes it down for one day after it's up, and starts making fun of the work. Adam Green recently was on a Jeranism debate debating Johnny Cerrucci about Jesuits versus Israel in terms of control. You guys know Johnny Cerrucci, I imagine, from him being on my channel. Does good research, but, you know, not the quickest wit, very fundamentally religious. And that's how Adam knew he could beat him. He just triggered him by making fun of his religion, and then he took him all off his game, and Adam seemingly beat Johnny in the debate. And after that, they had the debate on Jeranism's channel. Jeranism said it in that thing. If anybody else would like to challenge Adam Green, reach out. I reached out, and Adam Green said he will not debate me on the same subject. And then Jeranism re-uploaded his video from 2015 or 2016, the clip from his gotcha moment. And I just thought, okay, I reach out to debate Adam. You know what I didn't know about Jeranism at the time is that he was Jesuit educated. Didn't realize that about Jaron. Kind of makes sense now because I was like, what? Oh, that made you re-upload that clip because I asked to debate Adam Green on your channel? But no, he doesn't want the smoke either. It's frustrating, you guys. It's frustrating. It's just like, and God, I mean, how many people are Jesuit agents on the tube? Tone Talks. Tone Talks was having a conversation about Diddy. Remember, we predicted why Diddy would go down at age 54. And he did go down at age 54. We explained why. It had everything to do with the death of the Black Godfather, who died 54 years after establishing Sussex Records. Sussex Records is 54, like Jesuit order. But anyway, I call into Tone Talks, and I give this lesson about 54 and Denzel Washington, who portrayed, Frank Lucas, who Diddy's father worked for, and why, again, the two tragedies in Diddy's life, the club stampede and the club shooting, were both on Denzel's birthday, and why Frank Lucas died while Denzel was 54 when Denzel's Jesuit educated. So I share all this on the radio. I didn't realize that Tone Talks was a Jesuit-educated lawyer. I had no idea when I was just sharing this on his show. But he doesn't normally take down his live streams. But as soon as the stream was over, he takes down the live stream. It's down for hours. He re-uploads it as a video. And what's cut out of the stream? He only cut one thing out of the stream. He cut out my phone call. He cut out my phone call about the Jesuits in 54. And because I called attention to that, somebody said, "Did you realize he's a Jesuit-educated lawyer?" And I looked at it, I was like, holy shit. And I was like, oh my God, his show even equals 54. Again, you guys, how many of these plants around us are connected to this same Jesuit fraternity? Big tech is all Jesuit. Again, Silicon Valley is where the Jesuits set up camp in California. But yeah, Jeranism. If you're out there, you can come on. If you're out there right now watching, I don't know. If you're out there right now, I'll drop a link. Why don't you come on here and tell me what's so wrong about this video? I understand it might hurt your feelings. If you want to come on here and emotionally respond and say, like, listen, that's not what happened. It's hurtful. I can hear if you're a sincere human being, even though I know you're a douchebag. I imagine that if that's not what happened and your mom wasn't sacrificed and it's all just some big coincidence, I think it would come through in your tone of speech and your words. But the thing is, I don't trust you for a good reason, because I know you're a piece of shit. Even still, I have discernment. And if it came across that, that it's just the way it worked out and that's not what it is, and it hurts your feelings and it touches a soft spot, I'm not an inhumane person. I would take it down, but the reason it's up there is because I think that is what happened. I think that is exactly the kind of person you are. I think a lot of you villains have perpetrated this flat earth psyop and made the world worse for it. More divisive, dumber, more invested in lies. It's super problematic, the flat earth psyop. People are so emotionally invested in it, and it's been led by a pack of con men. Rapists like ODD Reality, people who assaulted people with baseball bats and who scam for a living online like Richie from Boston. Santos Bonacci, also released from prison, complete lunatic. You, a fraud and a liar and a disingenuous person, and a person who will go against what they know is true if they're told to do something different. Just like how Evan pointed out by playing the clips of you. It's like, how does he go from this to this? Con man, that's how. So I would say all four of these people on the screen are total con men. And again, with regards to Owen Benjamin, not only has he taken several shots at my work over the years and made fun of me, again, Owen Benjamin, total racist, loves to call people the N-word. But again, if you don't know, he recently ran a major scam. He has a huge community. I mean, don't you already have enough money? You come from Hollywood. Again, told his followers that if they sent him $400, it would get them a pass so that they could come visit his property for 1 week a year. And then after he collected, the word on the street is he made over $1 million off it. The word on the street is that was the collection rate. But it is true that he did this. And maybe the number is not as high as $1 million, but it's a lot. He has a massive following, and his following's always throwing money at him. He said, sorry, I'm not going to be able to let any of you guys come here. And he didn't refund the money either. Can you imagine? So, yeah, and just watching today, just checking into Gary's stream. Ever since I watched that Fresh and Fit debate, Gary shit's always coming up in my feed. I clicked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, people asking these questions. My birthday's this. When am I going to blow up? And Gary's like, oh, that's your birthday? You're going to blow up in a couple years. It actually could take a couple decades, though. I'm just like, who else is going to send it at $100? Like, I'm tempted to do it right now, you guys. $100 for numerology reading. No, I mean, if you watch what he did today, it's just comical. It's like, is this real? So somebody just saw that, him go, you're going to blow up in 2 years. It could take a couple decades. And then somebody else fires in another 100 because they want a reading like that. It's just like, what? Gary, this is why these kind of comments are left everywhere you go. My work, at least 500 times better than yours. And again, never tried to grift off people. And this, you know what? You really can make a lot of money off doing personal numerology readings. I've gotten so many emails over the years, people saying, Zach, I'll pay you this if you do a numerology reading. I've never accepted one. Not one. If I could do something real quick, I'd say, well, this is your number. You might just want to read about this number online. There's a lot of good numerology resources out there because most people don't even know how to calculate their number. But watching Gary, I'm like, well, maybe this is the way to fund the movement. Just start doing numerology readings because clearly I can do better ones than that. God, if you're going to throw $100 for, should you move to Boise? Hold on. No, you should move to California. Just like, God, I mean, fresh off all these wrong predictions, why do you want his information? Fuck. What's wrong with people? What is wrong with people? And by the way, you know, these comments have been left for years. Gary, you don't get these comments because you weren't the one that brought this to the internet. You guys, my videos on LeBron coming back from down 3-1 got upwards of 1 million views. None of them quite touched 1 million, but I had several on it at the time, and they all got like between 500,000 and 800,000 views. A lot of people got put on this, and a lot of people made life-changing money off it. Gary only had a channel with about 500 subscribers at the time. So when Gary goes around running around taking my accomplishments for his, that's exactly what he's doing. And yes, I do know that they put Gary on TV in Cleveland before Game 7, before the decisive game where he said that LeBron's going to win on the real King James's birthday. I know about that. And that's where I've always looked at and I said, you know, my local news never reached out to me and brought me on. Shit, I was on it before him. Granted, I'm not living in Cleveland, but yeah, Gary's some kind of connected thing. He is. He's a you-know-who from Russia. He's from Khazaria. So, and he likes to wear that FBI cap, too. But it is something else. So, you know what? I mean, I wish this guy would retire. I wish this guy would retire. That name right there, it just shit that doesn't make any sense, you guys. Again, I don't know where Kinfolk came from, but he came on my radar during the 2022 NBA Finals. We gave it out for free to everybody that it was lock city for the Warriors to beat Boston in their 22nd Finals in 22, to drop Boston to 17-5, like Golden State equals 175, like Pope Francis equals 175. You go back and look, the Warriors beat the Celtics in Boston, just like how they closed out the finals on the road on the Pope's birthday. And if I remember right, Boston dropped to 7-5 at home in the regular season. The Warriors became 7-5 in finals. Catholic Church equals 75, like Roman Catholic. San Francisco is named after St. Francis of Assisi, like Pope Francis. But anyway, we put all that out for free. Kinfolk's watching my channel, so he knows what we put out there. Kinfolk decides to do like the wackest decode ever and says Boston's going to win. And the decode made no sense. No sense. And I watched that man's channel grow by 20,000 subs over the 2 weeks of the NBA Finals. And I just thought, his channel, look at everybody else in the Gematria community, right? Nobody's ever had a bigger channel than me. And most of those channels have been kept very small. The only two channels that have outgrown, and keep in mind, my channel's been deleted 20-some times. That's part of the reason I've been kept small, and now I'm super shadow banned. But the point I'm making is the only two channels that do Gematria that've gotten bigger are like the two worst. The guy who says this person looks like this person, and this Gematria number is similar to this Gematria number, so they're the same person. Oh, look at the similarity between the numbers of Kobe Bryant and Myles Garrett. They're the same person. It's like, oh my God. Totally embarrassing channel. And then, yeah, Kinfolk, who's just, I mean, it seems impossible, you guys. It's like, this is probably the worst decoder ever. And he has all these subs. He's the first. Those are the only two Gematria channels to be allowed to eclipse 100,000 subs. And if you guys don't know this, if you're a YouTube creator and you eclipse 100,000 subs, YouTube sends you a plaque in the mail for eclipsing 100,000. Did you guys see what they did to Gematria Effect Sports? In 2023 in March, it was at 95,000 and some subs. March of 2023, it was at 95,000 and some. And then overnight, it dropped down to 89,000. And it's been on 89,000 subs since March of 2023, which, of course, is a special number to me. You know, if you look up what's the coldest day ever recorded, you'll see it's the day I was born. The record temperature was negative 89 Celsius, July 21st, 1983. My name in Gematria equals 89, like the word number equals 89. Of course, it's kind of a biblical number because there's 89 chapters in the gospel, and that's the 11th Fibonacci number. But yeah, I think that is part of Google's joke for why they dropped my channel down to 89K and have just kept it there. They're never going to let any of my... Again, every time I've sniffed 100K subs on my channels, I've gotten the whole channel just deleted. So they don't want to send yours truly a plaque. And what I've noticed from channels is once they hit 100K subs, they rapidly climb up usually to the next, you know, the next 100K. The second 100K comes a lot faster than the first 100K. But yeah, it's just frustrating to have to work against all this censorship and then see some fraud like Gary. It's like, how did this even happen? Gary rightfully had no following in 2016, and now I mean, I had not been paying attention to Gary, so I didn't realize this happened until he went on that Fresh and Fit thing, and I'm like, shit, he's been making the rounds everywhere. He'd bring it on, he starts everywhere. He's like, I'm the MJ of numerology. Again, you guys, to give you a real analogy, if there's an MJ in numerology, it's certainly not him, and it's true. He would not even be in the G League. Gary is bad at what he does. Bad, with a capital B. Again, look at the track record, you guys. Wrong pick, wrong future, wrong pick, wrong future. Nothing but cap. Claiming that you helped the Golden State Warriors win their finals, total bullshit. Gary wasn't on the first Warriors and Cavs matchup. He didn't have that first pick that year. He was on the Bulls. You know who was on the Warriors-Cavs finals the first time they met up? Yours truly. You know who, as soon as that finals ended, said it would be the rematch next year and LeBron would win the next time, and it was all about Nate Thurman, who wore 42 for the Warriors and Cavs? Yours truly. Here. Gary was one of the big Bulls guys that year, and I'm going to take you back in time. February 26th, 2015, Warriors, Cavs box score. See if I got it right. Yeah, this is it. You'll notice in this game, LeBron dropped 42 points. Check this out. LeBron dropped 42. Boom, 42, right? Gary, this is back when Gary would be like, oh, Gematria is stupid. I'd be like, no, it matters that LeBron dropped 42 because his name equals 42. And again, Nate Thurman wore 42 for the Warriors and Cavs. But here was the other thing I pointed out. LeBron has chosen one written on his body, which equals 98. The word chosen alone, when you run it in reverse, is 98, like National Basketball Association. I just remember all this like it was yesterday, because this is what I was laying out. I was saying, see, it matters that LeBron just got his season high of 42 98 days before game one of the NBA Finals. 2015 NBA Finals. It went to overtime 98-98 just to prove my point. And the Cavs only scored 2 in overtime. Warriors scored 10. Game 1 was June 4th. So look at this. From February 26th, 2015 to June 4th, 2015. If I hit the wrong thing, I hit the wrong year. 98 days later, right? So these are all the things I was laying out. All the things I'm laying out. Gary's on the Bulls. Gary's saying this is bullshit. It's been this way the whole time. And that's why Gary ran away in 2016 and hasn't tried to compete at all. Got his ass handed to him 1,000 times. So, yeah, Gematria is superior. And Gematria actually shows you what's going on. And remember, LeBron dropped 27 on the real King James's birthday, and Nate Thurman died 27 days later. And then Kobe's father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, ended up dying on the anniversary of Nate Thurman. Again, the NBA's pro sports' father's son. And see, Gary's not giving you any of this. Gary's making it seem like the leagues are legit, the elections are legit, the numerology is just making it all happen. No, these are rigged scripts. Again, LeBron, King James. In history, King James' son is King Charles. Those who fought for King Charles were called Cavaliers. This is why they got the ritual with LeBron winning it for the Cavs on the real King James birthday. Gary would tell you it's bullshit that LeBron won his first finals in the season. They shortened the season to 66 games. LeBron equals 66 like LeBron James. Again, I mean, this guy over here is capping, misleading. It's just whatever's going on with him is artificial. You know, there's no way. If I said, Zach, or if I said, you guys, $100 per super chat for me to read your numbers, and the first reading that comes in is I go, oh, yeah, you're going to blow up in 2 years. Actually, maybe it might be a couple decades. No, nobody else is going to send in another $100 for a reading like that. But that's what Gary just did a whole show like that. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are you kidding me? Who did you sell your soul to? God. No. Oh my God, it's bad, man. It is bad. It is bad, you guys. I hate that. I hate that criminals rise to the top in this world, man. This is a world for snakes. So. It's not hating the player, man. Gary's no player. Look at him. He's a fat slob, dude. It's what I hate is the corruption in the rigged system. That's what I hate. You know, Gary's not playing the game well. He's fresh off more L's, and that's all I've ever seen this guy post is L's. L, and then after he posts 5 L's in one postseason, he's got to call out the guy who had it right all along. Please. That's not a player, man. That's a criminal being propped up by some kind of, you know, Khazarian mafia. All right. Here, if your name is Jeranism and you're out there reporting my videos for calling you out fair and proper, why don't you come on and tell me why I should take down your video? I dropped the link for anybody who wants to join. What did Kinfolk do? He just makes the work look god-awful. Did you see his Hurricane Milton was because of Kobe Bryant decode? I mean, it's like he's trying to murder the subject matter here. So. Plain Decoded says, Plain Decoded, who's a troll of the channel, says, Plain Decoded, it's not a fair game, dude. I'm not in the cabal. I'm not in the network. These guys will not collaborate with me. That's how they all circle jerk each other. They go on each other's shows. They promote each other. That's the game. Notice, people only talk shit about me. They'll never collaborate with me. And again, Gary has 250K subs. Even with all that collaboration, imagine how many subs yours truly would have if my channel hadn't been deleted 20 sometimes. In 2016, when Gary had 500 subs, my channel was rapidly climbing up to 100K. I mean, dude, stop. Again, same reason you're a flat earther. It's the lack of intelligence, my man. Well, what's up, Omar?
Oh, can you hear me, Zach?
I hear you. What's up?
Awesome. Look, I was just calling because what you're saying is absolutely right. When you did the whole decode for LeBron in 2016, you definitely called it on the heads. I was there for that. But just a few things I wanted to touch on. One, whatever happened to like false flags? Like once YouTube shadow banned false flags and we weren't able to like look up videos on that. Like if you try to type in any event that happens and type in false flag, the first thing it's going to do is
it's been that way since 2017.
Yeah.
Again, they made it so that if you search anything, you don't get what you're looking for. Instead, you get CBS, ABC, Fox News. And again, I'd encourage everyone to watch the Event 201 simulation where they simulate the scandemic. There's a component of that simulation where they talk about what they want to do about non-favorable information on social media. They have like 5 different people suggest what they can do. And what they choose that they think is the best way to deal with information they don't want on YouTube is they call it the flood out strategy, which means they just flood social media with mainstream posts so that anytime people search for things, they just get the mainstream authoritarian articles. That's how you
Yeah,
see
I
it.
think that really hurt the community a lot because
Of course it did.
before, like, it was thousands of videos you could look up instantly, and they would point out all the inconsistencies with these events and how they were actors and everything. And but it's harder and harder now because they, like you said, like they censor it. Also, one last thing, I'm not gonna hold you up too long, but there's also another channel called Conscious X, and kind of touches
That's, I was, dude,
on
I
this,
was
the
just,
day live portion.
dude, did you hear? Are we watching the
Mhm.
stream? Who do you think I'm talking about with the whack ass decoder who's gotten huge subs that says this person is this person because the numbers are similar?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize you were talking about him. But
Who else would I
basically,
be talking about? That's that person. Another
oh,
joke of
okay.
a channel that makes the work look god awful.
Oh, okay. No problem. But yeah, just letting we're still supporting, and congratulations on your baby girl, man. That's about it, man. And keep up the work.
Okay, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's just sad. See, and I don't know if he's about to say something complimentary about that channel. God, I hope not. No, that's how you can just see controlled opposition, co-opting the work. No, the two biggest Gematria channels are the two worst Gematria channels, and just do. How does your channel grow 20,000 subs in 2 weeks when you get the NBA Finals wrong and you're doing embarrassing decodes? Uh, Simple Troll is a million times better decoder than Kinfolk and has never even sniffed 20K subs. And that's a good thing too. But again, if you know Simple Troll, he fades all of the winning patterns, makes big guarantees for false predictions year after year, season after season, just did it again, just faded the Super Bowl numbers with the Chiefs, but he's still a million times better than Kinfolk and has never even come close to 20K subs. How's it possible? What's up, GAD?
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, yeah, so yeah, that was a very, very obvious scripted game from last night with Kansas City. Scored 1,500, should have won 3,000, but it is what it is. But so with Kinfolk, so I have a question with that guy. So I was watching I watched some of his stuff back in 2022 and a couple of his stuff from 2023. I do remember, didn't he come on your platform at one point and dialogue for a second?
It might have happened. I forget. He probably did.
Okay. So you're saying, I'll say this, like, from what I've seen with all the people that are truthers, right? Once they reach 100,000 subscribers, they do get fucked with their channels. And a lot of times their channels start to disappear in certain cases. So, so do you believe that, do you believe, so basically you're saying that this guy is not authentic, that he's controlled opposition pretty much?
Yeah, I would say 100% because do you not see how bad his decodes are?
Yeah. Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I've only seen his decodes maybe once or twice, 2 or 3 times
He's
over the
so he's
past.
former military, which is the first thing that's suspicious to me.
Oh, there you go.
Because again, it just doesn't make sense how you do. You're dead wrong on the NBA Finals, and you grow 20,000 subs off your NBA Finals decodes, and you get all these views. Again, I put it out for free, that Finals, dead on, hardly got any views, and here's this new guy on the scene doing my work, but making it look like dog shit and getting way more views. How's that even possible? Like, nobody even know who he was at the time. He just came out of nowhere. I'm the guy who's been putting it down for 10 years. People know who I am. This stuff doesn't make any sense. That's why I say co-opted. They're funneling the traffic now this way. It's like, oh, look at, here's the Gematria decode. Makes Jack completely wrong about the finals. That's the one that got all the views on YouTube.
Right. When did he first come out on this platform?
I remember him from around the time the 2022 NBA Finals happened. He might have arrived on the scene shortly before that, but that's when it all sets it in my mind because I was just watching. I was like, God, this is like the worst decode I ever saw. Here's the other thing, kinfolk. What's the? Do you know who Soluminati is?
Yes.
So remember when Kobe died? Soluminati told everybody they need to research gematria. And he brought a lot of young people into the work.
Yeah, I remember that. Do
you remember his brother died?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't know that he had a brother.
Yeah, his brother died. His brother was also a streamer, but not as popular. And it was kind of creepy because it did have all the numbers all over it. But I just wanted to assume that I didn't want to make any assumptions there, honestly, but it
Right.
did look pretty suspicious. But anyway, kinfolk did a video capitalizing on that and saying Soluminati sacrificed his brother. So I think he got a lot of attention for that. But see, to me, that was messed up because it's like, okay, Soluminati directed people to my work and to learn about this because I teach it the right way. Now, kinfolk's trying to attack him through the knowledge and building up his following. You know, I don't like Simple Troll, but Simple Troll did do a video showing what kinfolk's sports decodes look like on Patreon. I mean, literally the dumbest fucking things you've ever seen. Just like unbelievably stupid. It's like, I hope nobody's paying for that. Oh my God. It's just embarrassing. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. His decode would be like Gingerbread Man equals 80 and the Warriors can get the 80th win today. It'd be like literally, you guys think I'm exaggerating, but this is like the kind of shit he's doing. You're like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And
so he's making false equivalencies because of the numbers.
I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand what he's doing. And just god awful. The same reason that he was a million miles off on the 20. And it just seems so deliberate because I knew he was watching my channel back then. So I know that he just saw that I said why the Warriors are going to beat the Celtics. It's all synced up with the Pope. So he goes the opposite way, makes it look really bad. And again, grows 20,000 subs in 2 weeks. It just doesn't make sense. So something's up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have noticed that they've been manipulating the algorithm for certain people, you know, for certain people to catch that particular wave. And a lot of times I'm gonna say this, like like I said, I've only seen like his work a couple times, but I did notice that his channel's not really affected like that for whatever reason. Even though, like, when you deal with people that do tell the truth, that are more sincere, that either they don't get the same amount of views, they don't get the same amount of attention, traffic, or subscribers, or their channel gets fucked with just like yours. So I would say that there is something to that, definitely. I just didn't know like where to point the finger at. If you understand what I'm saying.
And I do understand what you're saying. It's just obvious that things don't make sense. I mean, you know, as much as I don't like I said, I don't like Simple Troll at all. And I feel like he was put here for ulterior motives too. But he has never gotten the traction or growth like Kinfolk has. And his work is a lot better than Kinfolk's. So to me, I mean, Kinfolk also does come with like a broader energy. Whereas if you ever watch Simple Troll, he's on there, he's all like he hasn't gotten laid in 10 years. And it's just reeking of bad energy. So I can see maybe why people don't watch Simple Troll, but his work is a million times better than Kinfolk's.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've see somebody in the chat talking about gematria is a psyop, but I don't see how that's the case because they do use this code, this numerical code from Kabbalah, to fulfill whatever rituals and whatever,
there's nothing behind that sentence. Just gematria is a psyop. When I'm here every day showing exactly how it's used as we nail another sports future. Again, anytime somebody writes a sentence with no support for it, you just know that's a worthless sentence.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's just funny to see these trolls like that, and I mean, and it's so funny, like when you try to tell certain people about this thing. I mean, because at the end of the day, everybody can tell, like everybody that understands, the Illuminati, that the Jesuit order would, is the main faction of that particular order. And people find it funny that that when you tell them about this and you tell them about the history of what they've done over the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 centuries, right, since their inception, that people just turn a blind eye on it and say, "Oh, it's a coincidence and shit." So it is funny that people don't see it, even when you're seeing Kansas City Chiefs. They have what, red and white, no different than the Roman Catholic Church, the Cardinals and whatnot.
Well, no,
And
they brought no attention to the color in the logo, and the logo this year is red and green. You got the Chiefs and the Green Eagles. Last year, they brought a lot of attention to the color in the logo, and it was the first year it was off, just kind of the way they play with people. So,
yeah. But so not to take up any more of your time, I did want to talk about that, that kinfolk aspect, because I found him kind of peculiar a little bit. There were some things that I thought he did do as far as certain decodes, but once again, I've only seen like 3 or 4 of his videos over the past 2 or 3 years. So, it was interesting to see that you're saying that he's not authentic. I just asked, pretty much what's your opinions about him, where you stand on him and whatnot. So that's
yeah,
pretty much
something is way off with the views he gets and the attention and how fast the channel grew. The first Gematria channel to eclipse 100K subs, and just, I mean, talk about undeserving. I mean, just easily the worst Gematria decoder to ever grace YouTube is the title I would give him. The worst.
Oh wow. Damn. I thought the goofy ass dude that always calls you quackery was worse, I guess. Well, I guess
he doesn't do Gematria decodes. He just a troll. Yeah.
No, he's a troll. Okay. I'll just address one thing, because I see someone put my name as Gad equals Mason. I'm not no damn Freemason. The logo that I have is nothing but the Magandawada, or the so what people call the Star of David. That there's different usages of it. Yeah, the Masons do use it, but originally, it's a natural symbol in nature, and it's a natural symbol in the scriptures. So that's where that's the reason why I have that. But I'm nowhere near a damn Freemason. There's people that are Masons within my own community that do not like me because I call them the
troll account. I bet if I click on it, that account was probably made just now, 30 seconds ago.
It probably was, yeah.
It's probably It probably is cuts. That's what he does. He sits back there and makes new accounts.
No, yeah. But yeah, no doubt, Zach. Keep pushing the word, keep pushing the truth, and congratulations on your daughter and your family. As time goes on, hopefully, may you increase in your knowledge and whatnot. And just one more thing, I did see that you said that you might pull back a little bit, because you have to deal with family. There's nothing wrong with that, but just understand that, look, the truth is not for everybody, and whatever people that you are woken up and you have, brought to this knowledge, I'm pretty sure they're well appreciated. And just, at the end of the day, don't give up on this.
I won't, but it's just super frustrating. It's sad being around this long and just watching just like trash goons seemingly climb way up the ladder undeservedly after a decade of scamming. And it's just like last night, I felt like I put out a worthy call to jump on the sport. I mean, like nobody heard it. Like almost no new support came in. So no, I'm frustrated with humanity, man. I've done a lot for the world, and there's just not a lot of people out there willing to do much back. And then I got to sit here and watch these scammers, get compensated in ways that are just undeserved. I mean, just stupid shit. It's amazing to me. It makes me say, God, this world is so gone. It is pathetic.
Well, I'll just say this, and I'll leave with this, man. Like one thing that the elites do have right is that a lot of these people are useless eaters, and a lot of these people need to go. I do agree with that, because they don't really care about shit. So I do agree with that. But with that said, Zach, man, appreciate it. You take it easy, man.
All right, appreciate it. You have a good day.
Likewise.
Yeah, I don't like to do streams like this either, but again, as far as I'm concerned, everything I'm saying out here is true, and people need to wake up. There's just way too many villains and goons fleecing sheep. People need to get their heads checked. They need to work on their discernment. Flat Earth psyops gone on way too long. Goons like Jaron, duping a lot of people. Gary, the numbers guy, false prediction after false prediction, teaching people false knowledge. No, you're born in 83 doesn't mean 2025 is going to be the worst year for you. Total bullshit. Again, 2013 should have been the worst year of my life, yet somehow it was the best. Debunked, just like that. And again, I know Gary. I know Gary's nature. Gary's the reason people do those sketches of people from Khazaria with the big, long, lying noses. Gary's the reason for that. It's who Gary is. 0 for 5 in 2016 baseball season with his futures. 0 for 5. Yours truly goes 1 for 1 like we've done year after year. And again, he wants to attack me for that. He's got a pack of trolls. I've always known there's a pack of trolls that work for him. It's like, why? How? How's this guy with 500 subs have agents doing his bidding? This doesn't make any sense. Now here we are in 2025, and the dude's got 250K subs. Again, he goes around doing numerology interviews on big platforms, just making it look stupid. No, it makes me sick. And then everyone, like, we continue to get ignored over here, the things we're doing. It makes me sick, man. I see your comment, Mark Lewin. That's interesting. Look at the text message from 904. Okay. I dropped the link if you want to come on and share it. Here, I'll drop it again. You go to look at your phone for one thing, and you got 500 other notifications to check. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard that cars ran into people in Philly. It does remind of what happened in New Orleans, where the Super Bowl is. I just saw the footage of that. Yeah, they did really run over people. Crazy. Yeah, man. There's always sick rituals that go with these rigged sports leagues. But yeah, I heard that news story. So he just sent me the actual video footage from above. People definitely did get ran over there. So that news story was not lying. Okay, I see your find. Yeah, we'll go with the history of three-peats. Yeah, there are real deaths for these rig games, absolutely. Here, again, just remind about this with the upcoming Super Bowl. I believe it's Abner Haynes. Remember, we talked about this man's death in the offseason. Died in Dallas. Played for the Dallas Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. Abner Haynes at the beginning of the year. Again, just one of the first things we talked about before the season got underway. First AFL Player of the Year Kennedy was elected. This was 5 days after the Trump hoax. And Again, you end up having the Chiefs and Texans play in the playoffs predictably. Again, the Dallas Texans became the Kansas City Chiefs. He played in 112 games in his career. Chiefs won 12, like Super Bowl. And he was the 55th overall pick in Super Bowl 59, the 55th of the modern era. Just all things we talked about early in this year, just pointing out the little rituals. He died in Denver 303 days after his birthday. That's the Denver area code. Denver AFC West. Same division as the Chiefs. 55th pick. Eagles advanced to the 59th Super Bowl, 55th of the modern era with 55 points. And then, again, you just had Wilkerson for the Chiefs die on Taylor Swift's birthday, 43 days before the Super Bowl. Or excuse me, misspoke. A span of 59 days before Super Bowl 59. He died at 43, like football equals 43, like RIP. Again, you have Javon Belcher from years ago, who wore number 59. And Javon Belcher died on December 1st, which can be written 1/12, and died on the 131st day of his age. Again, big Super Bowl numbers. 112, 131. Come up all the time. The conference championship 131 days after Mahomes' birthday. This is what Gary the Numbers Goon was trying to make fun of years ago, as we've been nailing our futures while he's been missing, making people sign NDAs so they can't know about how bad his picks are. You want to pay a guy a fortune to miss on another future? It's pretty much a lock that he's going to miss and you're going to lose your money. Javon Belcher, number 59. They did Derek Thomas dirty. Number 58, synced up with Super Bowl 58. Again, and I don't know. I mean, maybe that's part of the problem. You don't talk about the dark side because it scares people away. I don't know. You just keep everything peaches and cream and roses and numerology readings and act like it's all just the universe. And that's what sucks about humanity. People are suckers, man. You got dumb people. They need everything to be peaches and cream. They don't want to look into anything serious going on. They don't want to expose evil. They don't want to fight against it. They'd rather just not know about it and become part of it. And also on the Eagles side, again, right after Joe Biden, the Pennsylvania native, made the bald eagle the official bird of the nation. Bald Eagles 31, the 31st pick of the draft. Bill Berge, Philadelphia Eagle, just drops dead. That was recently too. And it's sad. It's hard to remember. There's been plenty of other bodies. Of course, there was Jacoby Jones at age 40 from New Orleans, right before Super Bowl 40 pops off. Bill Berge's got the same birthday as the Super Bowl, February 9th, just like Saquon Barkley. Super Bowl is going to be 46 days after his birthday, the big sacrifice number. Again, he was drafted by the Bengals and made his name with the Eagles. He was part of that Eagles team that lost in Super Bowl 15 to the Raiders in New Orleans. Now, the Raiders in the same division as the Chiefs. Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year in the Raiders Stadium. Eagles versus number 15 Mahomes. And again, just even things like Richard Simmons, you know. Richard Simmons, you can understand the ritualism and who's getting off by the code and what reasons. Right after Jacoby Jones died, it was Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons is also from New Orleans. And just watch between now and the Super Bowl and in the days after, it'll be the same thing. There'll just be more deaths that are clearly related to the game. Richard Simmons, born Milton Simmons. And again, they put out his cause of death 172 days before the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs 172. They advanced to the Super Bowl, becoming 17-2. Again, these posts follow the work. Again, not charging thousands for it, not making it an NDA. Just follow the work. It's all free. You don't even have to watch any ads. There's no ads on this page. Just clues all along the way. Talking about 118 in death. Last night, if you were watching the game, they put up a stat on the screen showing you Barkley on 118 rushing yards and start talking about a running back who died. 118 associated with death. But yeah, Richard Simmons' name is Milton Simmons. Again, 59 in the name. The year of Super Bowl 59. He died on the kill day. Oh, he died on the same day as the Trump hoax. That's right. He died 118 days after he hinted that he was dying. Again, death and homicide are 118. So was cancer, what they said he died from. He died at 76. OJ died at 76, 59 days after the last Super Bowl. Again, the slave code. Richard Simmons had a afro. Again, a white dude with a black man's hair. And last night, Josh Allen, wearing the glove all year like OJ, falls to 7-6 in the postseason. One of 100 reasons you knew it was the Chiefs game. Okay. But yeah, that's the problem with being kept small, man. Everyone just feels like they can ignore you. If your channel is kept small and you're deleted, everyone feels like they can just ignore you. Like, I don't need to pay attention to him. He's got a small channel. Nobody's going to hear about it anyway. So I just hate this whole rigged game, man. I hate the rigged game. The rigged game just takes the fun out of everything. Give us a fair playing field and see what's up. Gary, the numbers guy, would still have no following. Who knows where I'd be at if I'd never been deleted. Taking off like a rocket. And now again, I mean, hey, look at the past year. Every future nailed. Every future nailed. Election nailed. On top of the news like nobody else. Channel still small as hell. Never had a channel grow so slowly. People still out there talking shit, but then won't have a debate. It is disgusting. Is that what they wrote? 8 people injured from that video. God, I mean, the car does fly into a relatively large group of people, and bodies go flying all over the place. It looked like more than 8 people got smashed. Elon tweeted about Warner von Braun yesterday. Yeah, just more mockery. If people don't know about the salute. Yeah, again, just the power of the knowledge. The power of the knowledge. We've been talking about Elon and Warner von Braun and his book Project Mars since forever. Yeah, and then he goes to Germany, right? He goes to Germany right after this. Joe Rogan's on doing his thing, covering up for it, going, oh, it wasn't a Nazi salute. It was kind of like the one they used to have for the Pledge of Allegiance in America. Yeah, just like how America's always been run by Jesuits, just like the Nazis were. And that's, again, why the Nazis were brought over here in Project Paperclip on the 201st day of the year, the big Jesuit calling card, and the same reason that Elon Musk did his Nazi salute on the 201st day of the nation's age. But again, the 207th day of his own age, Warner von Braun, for people who don't know. The Project Mars was published in 1953 in English. That's how old Elon Musk is. Warner von Braun, the Nazi scientist who published the book, The Mars Project or Project Mars, where the lead character is the Elon. Yeah. Yeah. And now off to Germany. Yeah, if you missed this video, there's a lot more to this. But again, people should look into the history of the Jesuits in 201 and why the Nazis were brought over here on the 201st day of the year. 24 years to the day of the moon landing, where Warner von Braun was instrumental. Nazis is 24. And again, it's just like after 9/11 happened, I was 18 years old. I saw this was a nation of Nazis. I was like, look, we're now a nation that hates a religious group of people. Everyone thinks, yeah, go kill those Muslims and strap a yellow sticker on your car and feel like you're holier than thou. Don't question the latest Reichstag fire as they take down the World Trade Centers, turning them into from 2 towers to 0 to 1. Yeah, it's annoying being right. It's annoying being right, especially when there's not really any validation for it, and it's just all you all you get from it is, just more and more haters because everyone else is in denial, can't accept the truth, doesn't want to admit they're a little Nazi scumbag too. That's what this nation's been, you guys. I thought after 9/11, I thought we're worse than Nazis. This nation's probably killed way more people than the Nazis when you really think about it. Started out of a genocide, constantly at war, constantly killing brown people. All the stuff we've done in Latin America, Vietnam, Korean War, et cetera, et cetera. Way bigger body count than that 6 million number they always want to bring up. But then you start to see it's like, oh, I see it. Yeah, it's always been the Roman military killing force, the Jesuits, cleverly making all these things happen. Yeah. The Joe Rogans of the world, more undeserving people, trumped up. Propagandists covering up for the lies. The dummies think they're the greatest truth tellers, the best podcast on the internet. Like, can't you see he's covering up for everything that matters? Nothing but distractions. Oh, GAD, I didn't see your super chat earlier, so you came on to ask about it. Yeah, he's got to be, man. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense how you can be such a horrible decoder and have so many subs. Like, here, let me make a point. My guy J Will Facts, where's he at? He'd been around for years. He's been around for years doing these gematria decodes. Look at this. He's been around for years now doing gematria decodes, and every single one is good. And it might not be everyone's favorite approach because he's not using his own voice, which I've asked him to do. But my guy doesn't even have 1,000 subs after 225 videos. But all of these videos, if you watch them, are good. They're good. They're good decodes. They're good presentations. He's been on YouTube now doing this for over 4 years, not even 1K subs. Here, let's just go through some of the other gematria decoders. Derek, who built the calculator. His channel's been deleted too. Derek's definitely not my cup of tea for his decoding. I don't really like what he does. He's at 20K subs. Okay? This channel's been up since 2018. This channel is approaching 7 years old this February. Just barely over 20K subs. And again, even though I don't like Derek's decodes and I think it often makes the work look stupid too, it's a different type of making it look stupid. He's a lot better decoder than Kinfolk. Okay, it'd be insulting to say that he was worse than Kinfolk. Zenith of the Alpha, veteran in the game. He used to always call my show back in 2016, back when Gary the Numbers Goon would also call in, and Zenith didn't have a channel. I'd say, man, you got to start a channel. I think Zenith likes to play around with numbers too much rather than like help expose evil. He created his channel in April of 2017, but he's had some brilliant finds over the years. He's been here for 8 years in April. He's got almost 6K subs. Kayla. Everyone knows who Kayla is in this community, I would assume. One of the only ladies who decodes. Not super active, but always does high-quality decodes. Loves to focus on the WNBA. But again, a million times better decoder than Kinfolk. Not even 8K subs. Well, her join date's not fair because she didn't start decoding until... it always blows me away. It seems like she's been here longer than she has, but it might have been somewhere around when Kobe died too. Maybe the year before. Where's Simple Troll? Simple Troll. I think Simple Troll's had his channel deleted one time. Only at 10K subs. And if Kinfolk has 100,000 subs, even though you need to take away the Gematria expert title, bro. When you're fading World Series numbers and Super Bowl numbers year after year and making out false guarantees year after year, your expert's not the word. But compared to Kinfolk, I mean, if that's the comparison, well, then this guy's definitely the expert. But yeah, it's going to be 5 years in June. He's at 10K subs. Decoding with Cody. He's getting better. I'll give Cody credit for that. He's getting better. Decoding with Cody. He's approaching 10K subs. He's been decoding, and he puts in a lot of work since February 2022. So he's coming up on his 3rd anniversary. Works hard. I mean, you know, he's made a lot of false predictions based on what Kinfolk does with his false predictions. Based on Cody's probably got even more false predictions than him. Cody should probably be at 1 million subs right now based on the Kinfolk calculator. But I do feel like Decoding with Cody is sincere in what he's trying to do. Sometimes I wonder. He collaborates with a lot of the losers in the community. Case in point, here's one of the biggest losers out here. A guy who's never read the Bible, doesn't know a thing about Christianity, but pretends to be one. His claim to fame is attacking me through Gematria decodes, which he learned how to do decoding through me. He's been here since 2021, going to be 4 years in April. Also puts out quite a bit of content, not even 5K subs, right? So the point I'm making is the people who've been here and been decoding and doing the work, everybody has pretty small channels. I think if you cover the subject of gematria, you're automatically shadow banned, and it's very hard for your channel to grow. And then you got Kinfolk. And that's the point I'm making about how it seems impossible that your gematria channel could grow by 20K subs in 2 weeks based on really bad NBA decodes that were 1 million miles off. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. And it's just like whenever I click on his channel, where's his where is his hold on. I clicked on his Super Bowl videos he was putting on. I had to turn it off. It was just making my ears bleed. Where is this? I mean, if you want some comedic relief, watch his video on Hurricane Milton. And the shit's got... See, this is what kills me, too. It's like, you know, back in the day, 17K views would have been chump change. I can't get those kind of views anymore. Look how important the work is that I did on Milton and Helene. Not to mention we called it a year in advance for how bad this hurricane season is going to be. I didn't get any views. This is the worst fucking decode in the history of decodes, and it's got more views than all the videos I did on the hurricane combined. That's what I mean about co-opted. No, he said that Kobe Bryant caused the hurricane. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, I mean... And what's the other kid? The kid that says this person is this person because they have the same gematria. So it's like, find 2 people whose name equal 89. They'd be the same person. 100. These are the only gematria decoders with 100K subs. No, it's tragic. It's tragic. When gematria is your baby, like it is for me, it's like, God, the worst of the worst are the ones getting the views. All right, I do need to get off, but Jay's got to hop on here and say something. What's up, Jay?
No, I'm not gonna be here too long. I'm babysitting anyway. I just wanted to.
You cut out, Jay. I don't know if you can still hear me. You said you were babysitting, and then it just cut out.
You can hear me now?
You're back.
Always doing something. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to add to what you're saying. Like,
for those of you that are saying stuff like oh well you stop focusing on what everybody else is doing, focus on what you could do to make the channel better. Like I don't think you guys are understanding the point that he's trying to make. The
Anyone
point
making
that
that
he's
comment
making.
must be an idiot. I'm here grinding every day. You guys aren't watching the videos.
Yeah.
You aren't hitting the like. You aren't leaving a comment. Do you understand how frustrating it is to be as stagnant as this channel is when I'm working my ass off every day? I say, hey, we got 3,500 people on the stream last night. How about support the work, you guys? Let's get back out on the street and wake these people up at the Super Bowl. You know how many people heard the call? I sold 1 ebook last night, and we got about 5 new people on the Patreon. That's pretty sad out of a 3,500 people watching because I know almost nobody's on there.
Yeah.
And then I watch Gary the numbers criminal come on and be like, hey, send me $100 for a numerology decode. And he's got $2,000 in 30 minutes as he scams every last person. There's something up with that because it doesn't even make sense. Like I'm saying, I don't know how anyone could be out there watching what he's doing and be like, oh, I want to pay $100 for that right now. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And like the point that you're making is that there's not they have an illusion of free opportunity, but that's not what it actually is. The game is rigged. That's what you're trying to point out. Like what you were just showing with everybody's channels, that everybody does not have an equal opportunity. There is no scenario or situation or setting where everybody's content is exposed to the same level of audience, and that's what you're trying to point out. And even if you're not even making this type of content, it's like if you make one small wrong move, the algorithm will punish you for it. It doesn't even have, you don't even have to be talking about stuff they don't want you to talk about. I've dealt with this on my entertainment channel and stuff like that. If you just make one small little switch up in content, the algorithm will just bury you and not make you available to be seen by people. Like my content doesn't even get seen by my own subscribers anymore. It's like that's what you're trying to point out. You're trying to point out that people don't have an equal opportunity to compete, and this goes way beyond YouTube. It goes beyond just real life. We do not live in a free anything. Like we saw this with the freaking pandemic. There was a restaurant that I used to go to with my dad, like all the time. It got put out of business. It's still out of business. It's probably never going to be able to come back up. And even if it does, it's probably going to be like a decade before it's able to resurface again. And that's to no fault of the business owner, but all due to a whole bunch of circumstances that were completely out of his control. When people point out stuff like, and that's because you have a group of people that have the ability to do this and make sure that all of the wealth gets siphoned disproportionately towards a select group of people. Pointing that out is not victimizing yourself. You're not trying to be the victim. I'm not trying to be the victim. Like I hate this whole mentality of just focus or just keep focusing on yourself. You can't even do that because you have an unfair amount of power being held by a small group of people that are able to rig this stuff and make it go their own way at the expense of everybody else. That's what you're trying to point out, and we're pointing this out so that nobody has to be the victim. I don't understand why it seems like people's brains are too small to comprehend this.
I think it's just that, man. A lot of small brains out there. I think that's the real problem.
That's all I wanted to say, though.
All right, Jay. Well, I appreciate it. And yeah, Jay suffers from the same problem, man. He's a talented guy, does not get the recognition he deserves. And again, it is frustrating when you're doing something that's actually meaningful and could help the world. And again, it goes unrecognized, and you're watching just frauds somehow climb to the top. Gary, the numbers goon, saying I'm beneath him. He knows that is definitely not true. The reason he doesn't want to come on here and debate is because he's going to get wrecked, just like he did every time we've ever debated. Once upon a time when he was a little tiny fish, where he still should be, he'd call into my show trying to get clout, but he just embarrassed himself each week. He thought he was going to one-up me, but then he didn't. It's because your methods are broke. It's because you're teaching false knowledge. It's because you believe it's some numerological matrix where all this rigged bullshit is just the universe. Yeah, there is a universal side to this, but this rigged stuff is something different, and you have to be able to discern that. What's up, Hex?
Hey, Zach. I'm not going to be too long because I know you have to go. So Just adding on to Jay's point, because I have a channel myself where I do decodes, but I don't decode sports, just like things are happening in the news. And I had videos before that where I didn't even talk about gematria, and those are the biggest numbers I got. Those are the biggest numbers I got. And when I first started putting out gematria videos, my views on YouTube started going down, but I checked my analytics and my activity, and literally that's like the most views and attention and traction I got ever on that channel is when I started doing gematria videos. So I understand completely like the frustration, because I get on YouTube all the time, just sometimes just when I'm bored, just to see whatever piques my interest. And it's a whole bunch of stupid shit. Whole bunch of just pointless shit that's made to seem like it's authentic. And yeah, that shit irritates me too. So I don't fault you at all. I don't fault you at all for feeling the way you feel. Cause I've been watching you late 2019. I even got Letters and Numbers right here, all 3 volumes. And so I know that the work you put out is very authentic. Um, and I mean, I like Kinfolk. Kinfolk has some good videos I like, but I will say, like, when it comes to like his sports decodes, they are pretty bad, because I just watched um his newest one, and even it was some things in the video that didn't even make sense. Like I think he tried to relate I think it was the Commanders losing to the Church of Satan, and they're not even the same state. So I understand completely, Zach. And I guess my point is like, uh yeah, just don't stop, because I'm not doing the same thing. I actually want to, like, I'm actually working on a video for Black History Month. That scripted side, because like I have family that are associated with the Black Panther Party, so I want to bring light to that and basically tell them that the shit they believe isn't a lie. So I understand completely, Zach. And again, I don't want to be too long. I just wanted to make the point and just show some support while I'm here.
All right. Well, hey, I'm glad to hear that when you did some gematria videos, it brought some attention. But I'm pretty sure that what happens though is it locks you down in the algorithm, and then it's hard for your channel to really
Yeah.
go much further.
Yeah, and yeah, that's YouTube, and you can't, you know how the Jesuits operate. So, but yeah, Zach, that's just all I wanted to add. Hope you have a good rest of your night, and congratulations on everything, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. You have a good night.
Yep.
Well, somebody says you got to figure out how to outsmart the algorithm. That could be true. That could be true, but I don't know how to do it at this point, to be perfectly honest. I'm just staying true to what I always did, and this worked very well in the past. I've never had a channel that's growing so slow as this one. And the other thing is this channel stayed up for a long time. So I feel like they did something different with this channel. It's like they're allowing it to exist, but it's kind of almost like a dead channel because the views are so bad. It's so hard to get a video to even 10K views. And then I always have people saying, make shorter videos. I'm like, have you guys looked at my channel? Have you looked at how it works? Here, let's see if the shorter videos are what's helping out here. Let's check that out real quick. It's like people leave that comment all the time. Do shorter videos. I'm like, do you watch my shorter videos? Because I put out quite a few of them. Shorter videos. Look at the views on these videos. Are these good views? Barely 2,000 views on this one. Didn't even make it to 1,000. Good God. 2.9, 3.5. I mean, these views are horrible. So, and I'll tell you what though, when I started pumping out shorter videos last September, they were getting like consistently 5K, which also isn't great. But what I've noticed is just as I've continued to put out the shorter videos, they've all gotten pretty bad views. Occasionally one will get like 5K, but most of them are right here in the 1 to 2K range. So no, shorter videos isn't helping. If I do shorts, they get the absolute worst views. This one about Aleister Crowley's a buzzword. I noticed a lot of, actually, something I noticed a lot about a lot of bigger channels is I think they find like their little niche of buzzwords. You'll just see how many of their titles are almost the exact same title over and over. To me, I don't want to do that. I want people to be able to go to my channel and search, like, if you're looking for information on something. Maybe I should just stop thinking like that because nobody's watching the channel. I don't know if anyone's any searching for any archive videos. But, I mean, that's the idea of having actual correct topics. But, yeah, no, I mean, look at these short video views. They're all pitiful. You got a block here for a little bit that was getting in the 5K range right at the start of the year for New Year's. No, I mean, it's just consistently bad views. And lives, you know, they do a little bit better, but it's funny right now. So right now on my end, I can see that over 1,300 people are watching this stream, but I'm streaming in 2 different places, here and on X. So that means the majority of the viewers are on X right now. The YouTube videos are not good. Think about when I covered football in 2016, 2017, 2018. Think about what the views look like on that. If you were here, you know that. I mean, hundreds of thousands of views. Here we are in 2025. You'd think the word is catching on, right? You'd think with the track record, just building it each year, legitimately building it, calling futures year after year. You'd think if I could get 800,000 views in 2016, you'd think in 2025, 9 years later, after consistently doing it year after year, you'd think we'd have millions upon millions of views by now. But here it is, 7.8K views. Great. Great. No, that's why, I mean, that's why I just tried to make the analogy the other day that if you worked out all the time, right? If you worked out all the time and you consistently worked out, but all of a sudden you just kept getting weaker and weaker and weaker every day, and for 4 years you just continue to get weaker and weaker and weaker, you might just give up because you're like, what's the point of doing this? I mean, it's not really the way it works in reality, but this is the way it can work online where things are so manipulated. So it's like we almost got a little wave here where we got 12, 9.2, 10. I mean, this is better than normal 11, 9. So compared to what it's been, it's that's better, but it's still not good. Still not good. So yeah, I know I know that maybe the way to potentially grow it is if I could get these people who talk all this shit to engage in debate, but I don't think they will. I don't think that that's a card that they're willing to play because they got a lot to lose. They're big on these platforms, and I've been made into the small fry. So you don't want to get beat down by the small fry. And I know that the people within this community, thank you to everyone who supports, but the people who are here, you know, most people either aren't able to help or aren't willing to help. I woke up this morning enthusiastic to see what kind of response there was, thinking that I was expecting there to be a better response. Track record, you know, all the enthusiastic callers last night saying, thanks, Zach, helped me turn this around. But no, I mean, it makes me think that, well, maybe the people who were listening last night are the people who are already down for the cause and supporting the work. But it just feels like it's really practically impossible to grow because I've been shrinking, right? I mean, I've been shrinking now consistently ever since we did the trip from Seattle to New York. Patreon support's about half of what it was when we went on the trip from Seattle to New York, and it went down rapidly after that. And it's just like, it's very hard to get it to go back up without football season. And then once football season's over, it's back down even more. So yeah, I do like sharing the information. It's just I'm in this game to make a difference in the world and get people to wake up. And I don't know. The way social media is, I just feel like I don't know if it can be done. I don't know if it can be done this way. And I like writing books too, but 2 books out there. You know what? I even heard Professor Dave Explain say that he'll never write another book because it took a lot of energy, and he said he didn't even sell 5,000 copies. And I thought, well, that makes me feel a little bit better because that's how many copies I sold, 5,000, and he has a way bigger audience than me. But he made the same point. He's like, people just don't read anymore. People do like to watch videos, but when you're trying to upload a platform where you're shadow banned and they don't want you to have any success, I mean, put a lot of money and effort into a film and then nobody can see it, you're only all the more broke for it. It's like, well, I didn't need the knowledge. I didn't need the video just for me to watch. So I don't know. It's just, Maybe at some point in the future, something will change with big tech. Doesn't seem like it, though. It just seems like they're clamping more and more down as they build the police surveillance state, and they want to off with the heads of everybody who has a clue of what's going on and actually exposing the agenda. So I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the mechanism is to I guess get out from under the hole big tech's put us in. I see the cavalry is not coming. Cavalry is not coming. But hey, Gary, the numbers guy, if I'm beneath you, remember I used to give you the time of day when you had no chance. I'd let you call into my show and make your point and just embarrass yourself. Why not return the favor, buddy? Now that you got the big numbers and I've been destroyed, why not have the debate? See if people are still sending you $100 for numerology readings. They'd have to be a real dummy to do it, and that's the real reason we know you both. That's the real reason we know you won't debate. So, and Jeranism, again, shame on you for reporting my video to YouTube. You should have made a response video. Should have hit me up in the email. You know, another cowardly move. I'm probably right about what happened to your mom. That's probably the real reason you want it down. So. Rest assured, if I do get suspended for a week over that video, I will come back and I'll do the video a different way without putting up, I suppose, the obituary on the screen. If I do get in trouble for that, that's bullshit because that's public information. I didn't delve into your private life. And again, YouTube's allowed videos with my address to be posted by people like a call for an uprising for years at a time. So people actually putting out private information that's detrimental. YouTube's never done anything to benefit me in that regard. I feel like me covering your mom's obituary, which is public information, isn't really delving into your privacy. But yeah, it is frustrating, man. It's frustrating because again, you think event like yesterday, it used to really grow the channel. These days, it's like nothing even moves. Nothing even moves. All right, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. And until next time.